everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Simply Unique. If this is your first time here, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell to be alerted. I will post new videos every Sunday. You don't want to miss it, so welcome and make sure you subscribe to my channel. First things first, before I get started, I just want to thank everyone for subscribing to my channel, liking a video, sharing a video, viewing the video, word of mouth, whatever the case may be. It's greatly appreciated. Like I've said previously, starting a YouTube channel was something I always wanted to do. I just procrastinated out of fear, just being nervous and all those things. But now that I'm here, I'm so excited. I'm so dedicated to this, and I'm very appreciative of everyone that has been supporting me thus far and liking and sharing my videos. So I wanted to say thank you first before anything else. Today's topic is my PCOS story and journey. And I'm very excited to talk about this with you guys because it's me. It's something that I experienced firsthand, and I can give you knowledge on it because it's something I lived with, something that I personally experienced. So I'm gonna jump right into that. So my PCOS journey is mine and it's dear to me. So first things first, when I was in high school, about maybe 10th grade, I took pride in my happy trail. I had a really nice, thin, little, straight down the middle, little happy trail of hair, but I thought it was cute. I thought it was attractive. I thought it was sexy. I thought it was really cute. And so one of my friends at the time, she was like, "Oh, you got hair on your stomach. You should shave it." So it completely knocked me from hair to hair. I'm like, oh my God, I thought it was cute. So I went home, shaved it off, okay, now it looks better because she said so. And then in a matter of a day or two, it grew back and it was full, it was dark, and the texture was like a little coarse. So I was like, I don't know if I'm more disappointed that it grew back or that I listened to her or whatever the case may be, but I was so upset because I enjoyed my happy trail, but it kind of made me think like, why did my hair grow back so thick? But I didn't think anything of it because once again, I was young and I thought maybe it's just normal, when you shave sometimes your hair grows back a little thicker, so maybe that was just the case and I messed up my beautiful happy trail, but it was okay. And then I also started to get like one strand of facial hair randomly, and I would pluck it and it would come back and I would pluck it, but at the time I didn't think anything of it because my mom would randomly get facial hair, so I just thought it was due to genetics, maybe passed down from my mom, my grandma to my mom and to me, that it's just in our blood to have a little facial hair, so it was normal to me. And then I went on to college. When I went to college, once again, to remind you, I've never had acne, never had blemishes, bumps or anything on my face until I was in college. I was 19, and out of nowhere, I swear y'all, I literally woke up and I felt like I had a face full of like big cystic acne pimples all over my face, and I was just like, oh my God, like I couldn't believe it. Like I was devastated. I tried covering it up with everything you could think of, makeup on top of makeup and concealer and wearing swoops, all different types of things to hide this off of my face because it was horrible. I felt like everyone that would talk to me would just stare at it. Like it made me very self-conscious, extremely insecure. Like it was horrible. So that definitely caught my attention. So I'm like, I've never had bumps in my life, and out of nowhere this just came. But it wasn't enough for me to think like something was really wrong. I just thought maybe I'm later in the whole acne process, so let me just start trying some different products to just try to get this off of my face. Then months later, it was just getting worse and worse, where it started to get on my chest, it started to get on my back, and I'm like, okay, something's completely wrong. So my mom scheduled me an appointment with my dermatologist, and she gave me a medication. She's like, maybe you want to schedule an appointment with your gynecologist or your endocrinologist to make sure everything's in order. Like your hormones are fine, your sugar levels are okay, everything's okay. So I'm like, okay. She gave me some facial wash. I would use it every day. And once again, nothing got better. It was the same. So I was like, okay, she didn't give me the answer. I need to go to the next step. So at this point, I'm realizing I was getting more facial hair than just a strand. It was like 20 here, 10 here, to where I'm plucking. The next thing you know, I'm shaving. So at this point, I'm completely like devastated. Like what woman wants to shave? Like it was just, it was horrible. It was horrible. So I had came home from break from school, and I had like a routine yearly appointment with my gynecologist. So when I went, I was having a conversation with him, and I'm telling him, like, my skin has been being funny, like I'm experiencing facial hair. It just was something that's not right. He's like, well, I'm going to send you to a particular doctor and tell her everything you're experiencing, what you're feeling, what you're going through. So I made sure I called, and I'm like, I need your first available appointment before I go back to school, because I'm in school in Baltimore and I won't be back home for a while. So I need to come like as soon as possible. And she made it happen. Like a few days later, she brought me into her office and asked me, like, what are you experiencing? And I was like, just my skin. I was thinning on my hair, like my hairline was thinning out, and facial hair was the main thing for me. Like facial hair, it was just, I couldn't take it. She was like, well, you may be suffering with PCOS. And at this time, I'm like, oh, okay, not knowing what it was. I'm like, okay, so what pill are you gonna give me to fix the problem? Like, what needs to be done to fix it? And she's like, so here's a paper, go home, read over it. PCOS is a serious thing. You may have trouble having children, or, you can have increased chances of being diabetic or having heart disease or depression or anxiety. And I'm looking at her like, wait, what? Like, just because I have some facial hair, I'm not going to be a mom? Like, literally crushed me. I got in the car, I cried and I cried and I cried, and I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I have PCOS. And she's like, what is that? Not knowing what it is. And I'm like, only thing I was worried about is I can't be a mom. Like, because I felt like ever since I was young, I always loved kids. Even when I was a kid, I loved other kids, thinking I was somebody older than them. But I always felt like I was born and destined to be a mom. And that was something that being told I couldn't have children was literally the worst news I've ever heard or experienced. It was life-changing, and in that moment, it completely changed everything for me. So I was devastated. And she told me to come back. So the doctor told me to come back. She wanted to run some tests on me to see if this was the case. So I came back. She wrote a script for lots and lots of lab work. Like, y'all, when I say lots of lab work, I left there completely almost like weak. Like, I appreciated it because, she wanted to narrow it down, but it was so much lab work that I was like, oh my God, I thought I was going to pass out. But she tests lots of things. Like, in the description box, I'll put a video on my previous post with the general aspects of PCOS, the things that they will test when they do lab work. But she took my lab work, and long story short, when things came back, my sugar levels were elevated. My androgen levels were elevated, which is a male hormone, and my progesterone was too low. So she was like, this is making me think you have PCOS, but we're going to go to the next step, which was the internal ultrasound. And I did get the internal ultrasound, and they did see cysts on my ovaries, and my ovaries were enlarged. So that's when they were like, okay, you have PCOS. So next, that's when she told me, we're going to give you some birth control, and then your metformin, because my sugar was my sugar levels were elevated. She wanted to fix that problem so I would not become diabetic, but I was told I was pre-diabetic, so I was in a range to be a little concerned. So long story short, I started taking the metformin, started taking the birth control, and once again, the birth control was to regulate for me to ovulate, because I was getting a normal menstrual cycle every month. I never had any trouble with getting a cycle. It came regularly, routinely. I had a heavier flow, and I did experience cramping, so that probably was irregular, because it's not really, you're not supposed to be in severe pain, but I was suffering with my menstrual cycle every month. But anyway, I wasn't ovulating. I was not ovulating, so I was not releasing an egg in order to conceive, but I was getting a normal cycle. So I took the metformin, I took the birth control, and y'all, metformin, okay, I had the worst experiences with metformin. Like, when I say, sorry, this is TMI, I had uncontrollable diarrhea. I could not hold it. Like, the moment you put something in your mouth, by the time you swallow it, it's coming out. So imagine having to go to work, having to go to class, you going out with your friends, going to the store, getting in your car. It was literally like, if I wasn't in the house, I was scared to go outside because I would have to use the bathroom. But along with that, I was dehydrated, because you're going to the restroom so much that you have to put so much into your body that I probably wasn't being responsible enough. I was dehydrated. I was suffering with severe headaches, cramping, like my stomach was starting to cramp. I was weak, like everything. I felt like my body was shutting down taking metformin. And the birth control wasn't working for me. Like, she told me to balance my hormones and help with the acne and the facial hair. And months and months and months later, nothing was getting better. So I'm like, okay, I'm not taking this anymore. I have to figure out what needs to really be done to fix this problem. So then I had made an appointment with a separate endocrinologist, because I'm like, I need somebody to tell me really what's going on. And when I met this lady, y'all, she was the nicest. She was so sweet. She was so like, she would put her hand on your shoulder. Like, she made you feel like she genuinely cared. And I really, really, really appreciated her until she told me, eat better, drink water, and work out. And I'm like, okay, I waited all this time to meet you, and you could have texted me this. Like, that's all. Like, where's this magical pill to fix this problem? Like, where's the pill to fix it? And at that time, sometimes in life I feel like we expect things to be so complicated, but it may just be that simple. Like, it may be that simple. Like, it might just be the things you're eating, the things you're drinking, the things you're surrounded around, the things you're not doing or giving your body, or exercising, or activities that you're missing. Sorry, y'all, my phone was about to die. I'm sorry. But you may be missing certain things in your day-to-day and not putting certain things into you that you may need. But at that time I was young. I was 19, so I felt like I wasted my time going to this appointment with her. I felt like I didn't get anything accomplished by meeting with her. So I started just researching. I went on YouTube and I started seeing people talk about herbal medication. And I'm like, what is herbal medication? People's success stories taking this stuff. And once again, I will make a separate video on exactly the things I did take and with, I experienced taking them, but this is just about my overall journey. So I started taking herbal medicine, y'all. And when I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, it literally changed my life. Previous to me taking herbal medication, I was in a relationship. It was a high school sweetheart, but we dated up until like through college, and we were young, but being told I couldn't have kids, it was a challenge for me to make sure I could have kids. So we would not like plan to have children or prevent, but we were, intimate enough to where I felt like, okay, 5 years into this relationship and nothing's happening, something isn't right, nothing wasn't working. So I started taking herbal medicine. I changed my diet. I actually went to being vegan for a month. It was hard for me. I wish I could stick with it. I just needed to be a little more creative with it to where I wasn't craving every other things. But I changed my diet, y'all. I was drinking a gallon of water every day. I was going to the gym and I was taking my herbal medication to the point I made a form, which I can even share with y'all. I made a form. I was documenting skin changes daily, my intake and output, like if I move my bowels, hair changes, the time that I took the medication and what I was eating with it to know if it didn't work with certain things, like literally trial and error. Like, I was experimenting with myself. But when I say that's the best thing I could have ever done, it's the best thing I could have ever done. Like, I learned so much about nature and natural things that I would have never knew if I did not experience going through this PCOS journey. Like, I probably would have never even knew that herbal medication exists until I was told I had PCOS, because I didn't have no choice. I became desperate at that point where I was willing to try anything to fix this problem. And I was committed to it. I was drinking an herbal tea called spearmint tea in the morning and at night. And it was so good, a little mint taste to it. And it's supposed to balance your hormones naturally. And when I say the tea with the herbs and the lifestyle changes that I was experiencing, y'all, it literally changed my life. Like, it changed my life to the point I went back to the doctor and I thanked her for just keeping it simple, not making it so complicated to where it's like you have to take 10 pills to fix it. No, I'm going to tell you, be natural. Treat the core, not just treat your symptoms. Like, sometimes we take medication to mask the symptoms. Like, I have a headache, so let me take this Motrin to get rid of the pain. But no, what's causing the headache? Like, we need to heal that first. So we're not even taking this medication for symptoms. And her telling me to eat better, work out, drink water, that's all she needed to tell me for me to realize it was literally that simple. Like, I just had to pay attention to what I was putting in my body and what I wasn't putting into my body. So I went back to her and she gave me another internal ultrasound, y'all. And when I say there was an assist in sight, There wasn't extra sweat. It was normal. Like, and I hugged her. Like, I hugged her. I wish I could say her name, but I mean, Miss Rita, I hugged her, and I was so thankful that I can come back and share with her. Like, just those small words you shared with me changed my life. And now I have a 2-year-old. I have a kid, like, I have a kid. And I never thought that would be, I never thought, after being told, I never thought I was going to be a mom. And now I'm a mom. Like, but before that, like, before even becoming a mom, I skipped the step because I'm just so excited about this conversation with y'all. But when I started taking the herbal medication, it took me about, no lie, maybe 5 months. And I went to work with my friend, we normally got our cycles at the same time, and we're at work, and she's like, did you get your period? And I'm like, She's like, oh, well, maybe you should take a pregnancy test. And I'm like, girl, I'm not pregnant. It just maybe it's late. Like, maybe it's just late. She's like, just go take a test. Like, you never know. Because I wasn't planning anything. I just wasn't preventing. I was just, I was in a relationship at the time, but I wasn't, we were just, whatever happened, happened. And I went and got a pregnancy test, y'all. And it came back and it was like positive. I took a picture. I sent it to my mom. I'm like, Mom, is this possible? Like, can this be fake? Like, can this be false? Like, she's like, no, I don't think there's many false positives, but call your doctor, So it came out. I was pregnant. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was so happy, so overwhelmed. I was nervous, but I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, I'm going to be a mom. I'm going to be a mom. And I honestly never thought that would be for me. And the fact that it is, I know it can be for you too. Like, I know that can be the same story I'm telling you and the same story you could be telling someone else. So if you are someone that is experiencing any of the symptoms that I talked about previously in regards to PCOS, please do not be afraid to get tested. Figure out if this is what you're really suffering with, because I promise you, it's so much better to know, because now you can move on to the next step to heal yourself. And it's okay to be different than other ladies. Like, we're all different. It's okay to be different, but you are perfectly imperfect the way you are. Like, you are who you are and the way you are for a reason. Embrace that. Like, I had to learn to love and embrace me being a PCOS lady. And I'm a PCOS lady, and I survived that. And I have a beautiful daughter, and life goes on. I'm having more kids, and I'm going to share my story and help somebody else, because that's the only way we're going to get, like, awareness. Like, we need to bring awareness to certain things that I feel like is just brushed under the rug because it's not that big of a deal to everybody, but there's a person suffering in silence, and I was a person suffering in silence, and I don't want that for anyone else. So if I have to be the person to show my facial hair, or show when I get my hair removal, or show when my sides were thin, because, well, I got sides now. I got sides now, but I didn't though. I did. My sides were thin. They were really thin, and it wasn't due to just hair glue, because I wasn't a big glue fan, just my hormones. But if I can help anybody, I'm so thankful. It don't matter if it's just one person, 10 people, 1,000. The fact that I'm helping someone because someone else's videos helped me, I'm forever grateful. So once again, don't be afraid to contact your doctor, or endocrinologist, your dermatologist, whoever. Even if you're just calling anyone and just saying, hey, I heard of this thing called PCOS. What is it? Can you look into it for me? Do it. I'm telling you, because then you can be on the journey to healing yourself and being happy and embracing who you are. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's very dear and special to me, because it's me. It's my story. It's my journey. So until next time, see you guys. Bye.